let's talk about Chelsea.
What about them?
Yeah, I just want to go again to what do you think, man? Like they let Sarri go, despite I would like to think a quite successful season. 2 cup finals, took 1 cup home, made it into the Champions League again. And yeah, I think they finished what? They finished 3rd. So I think they had a really good season, in my personal opinion.
I mean, I think you're being in the minority, like when you say that, to be honest.
You think they had a terrible season?
I definitely don't think that they had a very good season. I also think that you struggle to find a Chelsea fan that will say, "Oh yeah, we had a good season."
I think that I personally think they had a good season. If you consider it, like, I don't think they brought in any quality signings personally. I think when Sarri came on board, I think the only big player that they really signed was, you could say, Kovacic and Jorginho, but that's about it, right? Like, they signed 2 pieces. I don't think I expected them to be in the running for the Premier League at the start. It was always between Liverpool and City, and you just figure out, okay, where would Chelsea drop? 3rd, 4th, or 5th, right? And they finished 3rd. That's my personal opinion.
I don't know about that. I remember saying at the start of the season, I'm quite excited for this season because you don't know how these teams are going to turn out, right? And by these teams, I meant Chelsea, Arsenal, and Man United, because all 3 of them had new managers.
Yeah.
Mourinho was his first full season in charge, and then
Arsenal and Chelsea had managers.
Yeah. So, I think, like, I mean, they got to 2 cup finals. One of them was the Europa League, which they won. Which, I mean, let's be real. No one gives a shit about the Europa League, right? Yeah. The other one was the League Cup, was it?
The League Cup final, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like whatever. It's the League Cup, then. Like, it's the shittiest of the 3 domestic cups. Of the 3 domestic, the league, the FA Cup, and then the League Cup's the shittiest one, right?
Yeah, but Man City still played a full team, like full strength team against Chelsea.
Yeah, in the final, you would. In the semi-final, you would. But in like the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th round, you're playing against, like
Burton.
It's the shittiest cup. Like, it's the cup that people care the least about.
Yeah.
I think there were many results throughout the year that was very disappointing. They started the season off pretty well. Then they had like a bad patch. You thought they'd come out of it. You have another bad patch. You thought they'd come out. Like, people forget, like, Sarri was under a lot of pressure during the season, man.
Yeah, no,
there was speculation that he was going to get fired.
Yeah, no, but don't you
people
think
forget that? Chelsea fans hated Jorginho.
I don't forget that.
He had a good start to the season.
Maybe they just didn't like Sarri. They just didn't like Sarri. They didn't like the way he comes out. They didn't like that. I just think they didn't like the guy. And
I don't think they didn't like the guy. I think it was more like, when the results aren't there, like, you come in for criticism, right? So Jorginho had a pretty decent, first maybe 5 games, 6, 7 games.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, it sort of fell off. People were, like, the biggest issue people had with Sarri was that he was inflexible in his tactics, and primarily that criticism came from the fact that he was playing Kante and Jorginho, right? And they thought that they were playing Jorginho in Kante's best position, right? So, like, I think that Chelsea fans at the start of the season would definitely think that they have a shot. Maybe that they would,
okay,
be very close or whatever. I'm not sure, but I definitely think that they expected better. I don't know if I would say that Chelsea had a good season.
I would say Chelsea had definitely, like, I think, like, a good season by their standards, because I don't think that team was good enough to challenge for the title, right? I think
if you look at that team player for player, right? You look at that team player for player, right? Like, I mean, let's not forget the fact that they
won the league 3 years ago, right?
Yeah, and also let's not forget that the only reason they finished 3rd was because Spurs made it to the Champions League final. Right, they were behind Spurs a majority of the season as well.
Yeah, no, but
right,
they still made it there, right? They still were in every tournament. They were in the Europa League. So what? They still play their first team in the Europa League. If you're talking about like match time, they played equally, if not more matches, because they proceeded further in almost all the cup competitions compared to Spurs. So, and I would like to think they had like a equally limited squad. Everyone says yes, Spurs doesn't have depth, but Chelsea didn't have.
I don't think they definitely had a better squad than Spurs. Player for player. I think a lot of people would agree with that.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. Maybe.
So saying like I think saying like, you know, put it this way, right? Put it this way. If you're a Chelsea fan and someone told you at the start of the season, hey, you won't win anything. You'll finish third, but a very distant third. You won't even be in the top 3 for the entire season until the last 2 weeks of the season. But you win the Europa League. If you're a Chelsea fan, is that something you're like, oh yeah, no, that's a good season?
I mean, considering the whole piece of the story, I think that it's considered. I personally think it's a good season. I just think that Sarri. Okay, do you think Sarri was probably one of the most hated Chelsea coaches you've ever seen?
No.
Then who was? Benitez?
Maybe Mourinho at one stage, maybe towards the end of his second time.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe Evan Grant at one point when, you know, the results started turning against him.
But I think Sarri was definitely out there because Sarri had he had that really bad result when he got thrashed by Man City 4-0 or 6-0. I think that was one of those matches which really turned, that's when they really turned the pressure on him. So I think Sarri's got a bit of I think unfair stick, and it's also, but what didn't help him was he would go into post-match conferences after a loss, and he would leave a bad taste in everyone's mouth, right? So okay, fine. We can both we don't have to agree. We can agree to disagree on on our take on this season, was it good or bad? But so do you think it was right for Chelsea to just let him go then?
I think that.
Do you think he warranted another year? Do you think he did good enough to
Well, the fact of the matter is that question doesn't matter. Because
but
the understand because the understanding is that he's the one that requested to leave.
Yeah.
So.
But they were happy to let him leave. So it definitely says something, right?
But he's the one that requested to leave.
Yeah. I believe he requested to leave because I think the club fans didn't show him enough respect personally. I'm here just basically trying to defend Sarri because I thought he had an alright season. I didn't say, Chelsea had a very poor season. I thought
wait, so do you have a very good season, or do you have an alright season?
I'll say he had a very good season. I'll give it a 7 out of 10.
Okay.
What would you give it? Like a 5 out of 10? 4 out of 10?
I'd probably say it's a 5, man. I don't think it's a very good season for Chelsea.
I don't know how you can give it a good season then, looking at the team they have.
Because the fact, I don't think they had a bad team. I don't think they're a bad team. I think
good enough to win the league. Okay, good enough to win the league.
Good enough to challenge, I think.
When you mean good enough challenge, that means good enough to win. So good enough to win the league. Are they more equipped and are they equipped to beat City? Are they equipped to beat Liverpool?
Put it this way, I think I think they could. Are they equipped to beat Liverpool? I think they could. I think City, I think will probably, and in a way, it's a bit hard to say now because you're sort of looking back. I think City were by far and away the best team.
Yeah.
I think there's clear daylight between them and Liverpool as well, by the way. But regardless, I think that they could have. I definitely think that they had, in terms of just purely personnel, I think that they have, they definitely had the personnel to beat Liverpool. I also think that they probably should have been much closer to Liverpool in the league, which means in itself much closer to City. I think that they should not have been behind Spurs for the entire season until the end. When the only reason really that they got third was because Spurs focused everything on the Champions League and came through two very emotional ties to get there, to get to the Champions League final. I'd be pretty. I wouldn't say it was I definitely would not use the words very good. Maybe out of 10, okay, maybe 5 is a bit. Maybe it's a 6, but I wouldn't say it's a 7.
Okay. I thought they had a very good season, but now he's gone. They got Lampard. I think before we get into Lampard, Allegri has left after helping Juventus win their 8th straight Serie A title. You think it was time for him to go? You think he couldn't make the jump for them to the Champions League? So do you think it's an upgrade, you reckon, for Juventus getting Sarri instead of keeping Allegri, who has made
I think what
2 Champions League finals? Yeah, 2 Champions League finals. Yeah.
Do you think Juventus had a very good season?
I like to think they did. They won the league. They won the league in super convincing fashion. But I know people are going to go and said, well, but they got knocked out at the quarterfinals of the Champions League. But then I would say that they kind of have it's kind of like, the first season Ronaldo, and a lot of the core is not the core, but for example, Cancelo. Some of these pieces are new and young, and I don't think. And they were relying on players like Mandzukic, who I don't think is good enough. And that's why this season they decided to go out and really, just spend a lot of money to try to get all the, best players in the world. So I think they had a good season. I'll give it a 7.
So you think that they had... Okay, because obviously the people at Juventus did not think that they had a good season.
Yeah, because they think they would sign just one player in Ronaldo and they'll win the Champions League. But for me, the way I look at it is they got Ronaldo, but the core of the team, I still think lacks something. I don't think you're gonna win Champions League with Mandzukic up front, with Ronaldo, just him and Ronaldo. And you're gonna have I don't think Cancelo is good enough. He was the guy at fault against Ajax for both goals. So, I think next year's team is going to be, very different. I think this Juventus team is going to be a beast next year. They've signed what?
All right. The reason I'm saying that is because I think you can draw some parallels to this thought between Chelsea and Juventus, right? In which Juventus obviously did not think that they had a good season, even though they won the league. And I think it's because that Juventus are at this point where they have an expectation that they're going to win the league, right?
Yes.
I think that's mostly because the rest of the league is not that strong.
They're not at that level. It's really far away.
So it's we're going to win the league, right? And so a lot of their success and expectation at the beginning of every season is predicated on success in one competition, and that competition is a Champions League. So if they don't do well in the Champions League, regardless of what happens in the league, right, that is the barometer for did we have a good season or not.
Yeah.
Right?
So
this season they bought Ronaldo, right? Yeah. And the main reason they bought him is not because they want to win Serie A or they want to win their domestic cup. The main reason they bought him is because they want to win the Champions League. Now, they got to the quarterfinals and they lost to a team where they were favorites to beat, right?
Yeah.
Ajax. And the fact of the matter is, I think initially when you look at it, you can say, oh, it's harsh on Allegri. But I think there's also probably this idea that, look, I mean, Juventus have been dominating. You said they won 8 in a row, 8 Serie A titles in a row. How long was Allegri there for?
Allegri there was probably for like he was there for like 3 or 4 of them.
So he's been there for like three or four of the past three or four of the past years, right?
Yeah.
So I'm looking up how Juventus have done in the Champions League, right? So this season they went out in the quarters, right? They went out to Ajax.
Yes.
Last season they went out to Real Madrid in the quarters as well.
Quarters, yeah.
In 2016 they were in the final. They lost to Madrid.
Yeah.
So in these 3 seasons where Allegri is there, right?
Yeah.
They've gone from final.
Quarter.
If you want to go to the, let's say he's been there since 2015, 2016, which is 4 seasons. They went out round 16 Bayern Munich. After extra time, right? The season before that, they won the final, lost to Barcelona. So let's just take the last 4 seasons, right? So they went around 16 Bayern Munich, okay, Then they were in the final, then the quarters, then the quarters. In the final, they lost to Real Madrid. In 2017, 2018, they lost to Real Madrid in the quarters, and then who won it? Who won it?
The quarters, Real Madrid.
Okay, so they went out to the. Yeah, so they went out to the
last 2-3 in a row or something.
Yeah, so they went out to the eventual champions in the quarters.
Yeah.
Right? So they lost to Madrid in 2016, 2017 final. They went out to the eventual champion in 2017, 2018. In 2018, 2019, they went out to Ajax in the quarters.
Yeah.
This, and this is the season, 2018, 2019 was when they said, we are really going to go for it.
Yeah.
Right? And they failed.
Yeah. But bro. I understand. So I didn't say it was wrong for him to leave. So I was just asking you, okay. I think Allegri, basically what you're trying to say is...
No, so the question was that did they have a good season? And I think if you look at it within that context, I think the answer can be no, they didn't. Because their number one target, right? Yeah. The number one goal was not achieved. And it wasn't even the fact that they made it to the final and didn't win or something. They went out to a team that they were favourite to beat. Yeah. So I think we'll both agree that Ajax had a really good run in the Champions League. They did. No one is denying that. No one is denying that. But the reality is that Juventus were favourite to beat them.
Okay, let's put a quantity. Okay, rate their season then.
I'd say it's a 6 out of 10.
I'll say it's a 7. So we're not that far apart.
Yeah, but it's sort of like, that's why I bring parallels to the Chelsea thing, right? Because a lot of the when you look backwards and you assess, right, a lot of that is based on expectations and objectives that you create at the start of the season, right? So for the Chelsea thing, where we differ is when I think the expectations at the start of the season for Chelsea were higher.
Yeah. No, I understand.
And they did not meet those expectations, and that's why I think they did not have a very good season. Right? I think it was a pretty average season. Yeah, you can say they won the trophy, and that's true. But come on, man, a team of Chelsea does not start the league saying we hope to win the Europa League. That is
you're giving an low. Dude, you have Asian standards, okay? You're like, 6 out of 10, that's bad. I'm like, 7 out of 10, that's pretty good. You're like,
no. Let me ask you a question. If you are in the Premier League and the Europa League, and the FA Cup and the League Cup, which competition do you want to win the most of those 4 competitions?
I think it really depends where you finish in the league, right?
So you're good enough to let's say you finish in the top 4. Let's say you finish in the top 4, right? Then FA Cup. But if you're not guaranteed in the top 4, which Chelsea wasn't at the start, let's be real, right? Top 4. Here's the thing: no one is guaranteed top 4 at the start of the season.
No, I'm talking about what happened last season. Chelsea only confirmed their top 4 status in the last 3 game weeks, and back then they were already
at the start of the season. That's what I said. At the start of the season, right, when they set their objectives and expectations for the season, at the start of the season, do you think their objective is we'll finish top 4 and win the Europa League?
They didn't know, but they'll probably say around top 4 or compete for the title. But for me, I said more realistically, they'll be in the top 4. That's it.
Yeah, but okay, that's fine.
Chelsea's expectation of it, I don't remember Sarri saying, we're going to challenge the league.
I'm just saying, I think that the Chelsea expectations, right, that they had at the start of the season. Because I think objectively, I think you can make a start of the season, you can make a pretty good case that, this team could potentially, are they the favorites to win it? Probably not. Probably not. But could they potentially win it? Or could they challenge? Yeah, I think they could. I think most people would say, yeah, I think they could, just based on personnel alone. Because don't forget, at that time, right, no one knew what Sarri was going to be like. And don't forget, Chelsea started the season really well.
Oh, fucking, I think they started on top of the table for the first, after 3 game weeks or 4 game weeks in. They're top
because Pedro was scoring a lot, right? And he was freaking the bargain buy in fantasy.
Yeah, the bargain buy. Yeah. You remember? Oh, Pedro was killing it. And then Jorginho, because he was taking the penalties,
exactly.
pens.
Yeah.
And he was like, what, 5? He was like, he only cost 5.
Yeah. So, and then, they started a bit of a wobble. And then it's like, why is Jorginho playing every game? Why is Kante playing this position? Hazard starts getting disinterested. Blah, 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 blah. Right? They lose to teams they shouldn't lose to. They had that, I think it was 6-1 Man City. I could be wrong.
Yeah. No, that's the second half of the season. But yeah, they got smacked by Man City.
Yeah, and then so it became like, man, like this is pretty, we did not expect our season to go this way. And I think, they weren't even the top 4 for a majority of the season.
Yeah.
Towards the latter part.
You have to understand is also it's sometimes the way that they will lose, right? For example, they'll be trailing behind and they'll do these passing football, which I probably the fans aren't accustomed to, right? Because of the fact Chelsea used to be that either right after Mourinho, the first Mourinho reign, they started becoming a bit more exciting, I would say, right? Yeah. Remember when Drogba, Hazard, Ballack, Deco, Solomon Kalou, right after he left. Who else? They okay, not Torres, but fucking Ramirez. They always get this. They always play this 4-3-3, and then that front.
The personnel was similar, but the style was different.
Yeah, but it will always be exciting-ish. I think it was never
they played some really good football under Roberto Di Matteo, even though that was only a interim solution.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying. Yeah, I thought they played really well, and then it came to Sarri. I think I've watched Sarri's Chelsea a few times, and I always go this is so bad. If the ball's not in Hazard's feet, it's there's no point watching it. I only enjoy when I see Hazard running the ball, or Willian, or Callum Hudson-Odoi. If not, the rest is just really, I think, really bad football, right?
No, but see, that's I don't like that, because that is that's very, how to say. Put it this way, when they were winning, when they were top of the league at the start of the season, right? People were saying, "Oh, this is great to watch." Right, Sarri ball, right?
Yeah,
Sarri ball came from Napoli, right? And Napoli were an exciting team to watch. They scored a lot of goals.
Yeah, Higuain got that record season, goal scoring season.
So then now you say, oh, the way Sarri plays is good. I only want, I want to see the ball in Hazard. It's sort of when things are going wrong, or when things when things are bad, everything looks bad, right? The thing is, I think what happened with Sarri is that the players they lost, and this is something that
this is not the first time.
I'm thinking that will change. I think it will change at Chelsea, where they just lost confidence in the coach, right? Yeah. And then the players start believing. When the media is saying Sarri, he doesn't know what the hell he's doing. Why is Kante playing in that position? Why is Jorginho playing every game? Why is David Luiz playing on this side of the centre back instead of the other side? And the fact of the matter is that the way Sarri plays, he likes to play with a centre forward, right? But he doesn't like Giroud for some reason. That's why they brought in Higuain, right?
Yeah. But he didn't do shit. I said he wouldn't score more.
Yeah, and that's why they played. At one point, he tried to play Higuain sort of as a centre forward, and then he tried to play in false 9. It's trying to fit into his system, right?
Yeah.
And he did. It just didn't happen, right? It just didn't happen. The players didn't believe in the system. There was no buy-in. So, it's one of those things where he said, "Oh, Chelsea, they're terrible to watch. This is, like Sarri had no clue what he's doing." But the thing is, like, this is the same guy, like that was at Napoli. It is the same guy that was the manager of this team that was top of the league at the start, and they were playing really good football at the start of the season.
Yeah, he is the one who gave like Juventus the biggest run for their money over the last few seasons. Yeah. No, I get all of that, but I'm trying to say he didn't manage to implement it well for Chelsea last season.
Okay. Well, yeah, because at some point I think he had to, they got figured out a bit, and then, like I said, like there's probably not enough trust between the players and the manager, where he says, "Guys, like this is how we're going to play, or this is what we're going to do in order, like, well, they figured this out, but we're going to make this adjustment."
Yeah,
no, it's likely that the players, there was no belief in the players, and also there's on the other side, there's also probably a bit of like he probably didn't have the right personnel in order to make those adjustments.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, no. I think that if you say that's your argument, I'll be like, yeah, I could stand with you, because remember, you remember at one point he dropped Marcus Alonso, and remember like the champion, like a few seasons before, he was arguably the best left back, one of the best left backs in the Premier League, if not the world.
Yeah. I mean, Marcus Alonso was very, like the way that he played, he's very attacking. He's very attacking left back, and that's how Sarri likes to play, right?
Yeah, he was one of the guys that helped usher in the three at the back and the wing backs in the Premier League.
Yeah, so that's why I say I think you're right. But that's why I say, coming back to the point, right, is I think the expectations for Chelsea at the start of the season were quite high. Like, it's like, are we going to win the league? Yeah, like, probably not. Can we challenge? Yeah, I think we could. Like, that's why I think they just didn't. All right, do you know a Chelsea fan?
Yeah.
What did they say about this season? Did they say it was a good season?
No, they said they hate Sarri. And I would I
asked them, but did you ask them, was it a good season?
No, obviously they said no, man. Like no, but I have one friend who's I think is very nuanced. He says, I think we had an okay season, not a great one, but definitely not a bad one.
Yeah, so okay. So you would say okay. You might even say it was a 6 out of 10.
Okay, like 7, 6. Yeah, okay, within the same realm, I guess. But I think it's very good, because my expectation of them were different, right? Your expectation of them was to be much closer to Chelsea and Liverpool, but I think Liverpool and City. But I think there's a bit more of a gap than you. But like, okay, I think
my expectation of them was also just to finish very even if there is a gap, like that big a gap, which I don't think, like, come on, man, like they should be in the top 4 the whole season, right? Come on, player for player, they're a good team, man.
How many points did they fall behind? Let's see. Okay, so they were oh wow, that's very far. 98 minus 72. That's a 26-point gap. Yeah, that's a big point. That's a big gap. That's a big gap.
Yeah. So this mentality, right, where you say, "Oh no, they had a pretty good season." You know what mentality it is?
It's what, the new United mentality?
No, it's the Arsenal mentality.
Yeah, but like, I think this year Chelsea would be happy to finish in the top 4. Okay, let's get on to this topic.
No, I don't think they'd be happy. And the thing is that they shouldn't be.
Let's move on. Okay, they got Lampard now. So, do you think they got, like, what do you think of Lampard? Do you think it's an upgrade, or do you think it's what do you think he's gonna do? What I know you.
I think it's the best they could have done. Like, I think the big thing that isn't talked about is the fact that I don't think many managers want to go there when the transfer ban is on.
Yes.
It looks like they're just gonna ride it out. So yeah, they've made a couple of signings though, or rather they confirmed Kovacic, apparently because the registration was already with them, so it just really counted as a transfer. So all right, fine, cool loophole. They They signed Pulisic in Jan,
Oh, yeah, they signed Pulisic and Jan.
so they made
And,
that signing
and like,
beforehand.
if you were Chelsea, wouldn't you just sign Higuain just in case?
Yeah, I would, but
I would have, like, but they didn't.
yeah,
I don't know whether they can still sign him, but like, I'm just looking at the Chelsea squad and I go like, they definitely fucked this year, man. Like, I personally think.
Put it this way. My expectations of Chelsea are lower than they were last season.
Okay, where are they gonna finish? You reckon? I got. Let's throw something. Where are they gonna finish?
I reckon if they finish fourth, they can be happy.
Okay. Yeah, I'm looking at the team. What? I think they're gonna get a lot of their loan players back. I think they're gonna get Kurt Zuma back from Everton. Danny Drinkwater. I think he might stay. Kovacic, Ross Barkley. I think they got a bit of work with. I think top 4 is believable.
Like on paper, like player for player, like right now.
Yeah.
Keeping in mind that there's still 2 months left of the window, and other teams could change. I don't think they're better than. I think they're better than Arsenal right now. I don't think they're better than Spurs. I don't think that
they're better than United.
Maybe they're about even with United. So that's why I say like.
No, I think they're even with United. I personally think they're even with United. Depends on who's coming in for United, right? Like we all know.
Keeping in mind that there's 2 months left in the window and there's things to change. I think
it's not 2 months, dude. It's ending this month.
Yeah, but I think that it's not ending in 2 weeks.
Dude, it's ending in a few weeks. The window is end of July. Dude, they changed it. The Premier League, they shortened the window. So the window closes right before the Premier League starts.
Yeah, on the 8th of August.
Yeah, right before it. Yeah, okay. Like in a few weeks, 3 weeks, I think. So that's soon.
So, like, I mean, you can say 3.5. I mean, yeah, but it doesn't end in July. It's on the 8th of August.
Okay, fine. 8th of August.
Anyway, things can change, right? With Arsenal, like there's rumors that they're going to sign this guy from Toulouse, another French player. Unsurprising.
Saliba.
It's funny, even though Wenger's not there, like they're still just signing all these French players.
Yeah, true.
So Arsenal can still change. United can still change. Obviously Spurs can still change. They signed that guy Ndumbele or something.
Hey, dude, Spurs have been breaking the transfer record and they've been spending money. They haven't spent money since 2018 January.
I mean, they bought one player so far. Right?
Yeah, so there's they paid 70 mil. I think euros. It's not pounds. It's either euros or dollars for Ndombele, and they signed a championship player in Jack Clark from Leeds. So
yeah, but that's like just for the future. It's not for now.
Yeah, that's the future. So there's essentially they signed Ndombele.
Yeah, essentially they got one signing.
There's no Premier League, but we'll talk about that next week, I reckon.
Yeah, but yeah. So right now, I said Chelsea. I think expectations will be low going into the season. Yeah. I think they finish top 4. I think they'll be happy. Like this season, right? Let's say they finish top 4 and then they win the Europa League. I think you can say that was a pretty good season, guys.
Yeah. I think if they could complete,
but not last season. But this season, if that happens, I think you could say, yeah, that was a pretty good season for us.
Yeah. Man, like we can do United.
I think Lampard. I think Lampard's Do you know how like what's the contract?
No, is it a 3-year contract? It's a 3-year contract.
I don't.
It's a 3-year contract, and he got a few of his boys from Derby to come with him, and he promoted some people within the Chelsea, people that he used to know up to.
This way, I think it's one of those things where it's like you can't go wrong, right?
Yeah.
Like, if it all goes badly, right? They have a very easy thing to blame. Yeah. Which is the transfer ban.
Yeah.
Right. And if it all goes really well, right? Like you can say, like all the fans will be happy. So it's one of those things. It's a bit like the United and Solskjaer appointment in that like you can't go wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Like if things continue badly, you have a very clear like scapegoat If things go well, it can be like, well, it's a fan favorite in charge of a club legend in charge of the club anyway. Like the fans will be all on side. So
Yeah.
I think it was a good move.
Yeah, I think it's good. No, I personally think. I mean, if you didn't like Sarri, I thought Sarri didn't have a bad season. But if you change him for Lampard, for me, it's not like, oh, you guys are making a terrible mistake. For me, it's just like, but for you to, if you expect Lampard, it depends on your expectation of Lampard, right? If you think like he's going to change the game for them, I don't think so. But if you think you're gonna have the same type of idea of roughly, okay, we're gonna get a new manager and see where we go from here. Last one, Sarri didn't really cut it with the fans. I didn't really cut it with the whole club in general, in terms of like, like Chelsea wanted to keep certain players, but Sarri was pushing them away, i.e. Callum, Hudson-Odoi, and certain, like, it was well known that certain people in the club didn't really like Sarri's, like Marcus Alonso, and these were like fan favorite players. So like that made sense. We'll see what happens. I think it's exciting to see, right? Like these.
No, but like I said, I also think that Chelsea would probably have difficulty getting a tier 1 manager anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, this moves into.
So it sort of works out well for them.
Yeah, this moves into like who's really out there that's top tier, right? Do you think they'll sign Mourinho for third term? I don't think so. Would they?
I don't think Mourinho will want to go anyway.
No. And they burnt a lot of bridges. I think Chelsea is one of those clubs that burnt a lot of bridges with, top tier managers. They've signed every manager over. Okay, this is their 12th manager since 2004.
I don't think that really matters, to be honest. Like, look at Madrid. They burn through managers, and people still want to manage Madrid.
No, but like, how likely is it? But they burned through 12 of them. Let's just say, like, there's only a select few that won the Champions League, right? Who's likely gonna go? Do you think they'll go back? Do you think Carlo Ancelotti will go back and manage Chelsea after the way he left?
Maybe. I mean, maybe it's too soon. But I mean, look, put it this way: I don't know if they burned bridges. But I think regardless of that, whether they did or they didn't, I think that very few tier 1 managers will want to go Chelsea with this transfer ban in place. Like, for example, they could have made a trade. They just go, okay, we'll trade Sarri for Allegri, right? Yeah. But I wouldn't be surprised if Allegri was like, I don't want to go to Chelsea because I can't buy any players.
Yeah. No,
I can't buy any players, and Hazard is gone. It's like.
Yeah. No, apparently that's one of the reasons. One of the reasons why, Allegri didn't want to go. Apparently, Allegri was earmarked as one of the possible replacement, one of the top possible replacements.
Yeah, I think very few tier 1 managers would go. Very few. Yeah. Very few.
I mean, I think since we're like talking about this, I think we could quickly just go through all the transfers anyways. Fuck it. Real Madrid, they got Hazard, they got Mendy. Okay, I think a very simple question to like simplify this topic is there's only 2 teams which have signed loads of players. PSG, you don't consider PSG, but PSG signed more second-rate players because of the change of culture. But it's between Real Madrid and Juventus on who has had the better transfer window so far.
Who has Juventus signed already?
Okay, I'll tell you Real Madrid first. Real Madrid signed 5 players already: Eden Hazard, Ferland Mendy, Luka Jovic, Eder Militao, and Rodrigo. I only know of Jovic and Hazard. The other 3, I don't know much about. Juventus, on the other hand, they've got Aaron Ramsey, Gianluigi Buffon, Luca Pellegrini from Roma, who is really good. They got another player. Fuck. What's the player's name? Adrian Rabiot from PSG on a free contract. And rumors that are saying that
Ramsey's on a free as well.
Yeah, Ramsey's on a free as well. And rumors is that Juventus are in pole position for the league. So I think I think both these clubs, right, like at the best transfer window so far. But yeah, so I'm just basically I just want you like to pick who you reckon has a better transfer window so far. And I think a simple metric is who are you leaning on to win the Champions League between Madrid and Juventus?
Madrid.
Madrid?
Yeah.
Really? Yeah, could be.
I think that Madrid have made some very common sense signings.
Yeah.
In all honesty, like they have there's not Luka Jovic.
Yeah.
He was a top scorer.
One of the top scorers in the Bundesliga.
Yep. Sort of came from nowhere. Played for what? Who was it? Stuttgart, was it?
No, like Leverkusen or something like that.
Yeah, something like that, but not one of the big two. Not one of Munich or Dortmund.
Yeah.
So because they realized, look, Karim Benzema is 33 years old or something. Like we need someone. They signed Eder Militao. I don't know much about Eder Militao as well, although I know that he is regarded quite highly by people that do know.
Oh, he played for Inter. Yep.
Yeah, and Eder Militao is defender, right?
Yep.
So central defense, if I'm not wrong.
Center defender, yeah. So Ferland Mendy is a left back. Luka Jovic is a forward who banged in 25 goals last season. Eder Militao is Porto's central, starting central defender, and Porto had a really strong season last year. I think they won the league last year. They won the league last year, I think. No, Benfica won the league, but they finished up there, obviously. So, and then they signed.
And then Eden Hazard, obviously. There's rumors of Pogba. There's rumors of Christian Eriksen, although that's died down a bit, I think. I think if you had a look at the Madrid squad and said, who do Madrid need to sign this, or what positions do they need to cover this season after what happened last season?
Yeah.
I think that you would identify, look, we probably need to freshen up the squad, right?
Yeah.
We probably need to get in a new striker because we can't rely on Benzema. He's got maybe a year left.
Yeah.
If anything, he's on the downward slide already.
Yeah.
We haven't had their central defender pairing is Ramos and.
Oh, Ramos and what's the player?
Can't even name him, right? Can't even name him. So. Their last strong central defenders pairing was probably when Ramos and Pepe, right? And then Pepe's gone. Pepe's been gone for a few years. So, that's the. So I said, you probably want someone defense.
Varane, dude, how can we forget it's Varane?
Oh yeah, sorry, Varane. No, sorry, my bad. That's very bad of me. My bad.
Yeah.
But Varane. Anyway, so they got a good central defender. They got Marcelo's also getting up there. Right.
Yeah,
obviously they don't trust Reguilon that much.
They loaned him out already.
Yeah. So they got in some other guy, Fernand Mendy. I don't know too much about him as well.
Yeah.
Obviously Eden Hazard's the big one, right? He, he's just one of those players, he has something special sort of players, right? There's very few of those players.
Yeah,
in the world.
You put him top 20, basically, top 10, maybe. Top
10, I'd say. Yeah.
Yeah, 10.
Luka Modric is 33 years old, right?
Yeah.
So, they had Vinicius come up last year, so you're expecting to play more of a bigger role this year. I just think a lot of this, and the funny thing is that you can't really say this about Real Madrid. You don't usually say about Real Madrid, but they've made some. I think they made some very good common sense signings.
Yes, I agree. No, I think Zidane has the way he approaches it is very simple. He goes I think this time when he came back and signed back for the club, definitely he's definitely signing in a stronger position than he was, right? He's definitely his managerial position. Definitely has greater decision making powers.
Yeah, and he probably negotiated that at the time he came back as well. Said, if you want me to come back, guarantee me that you'll get me A, B, C, D. Or something like that.
Yeah. And you can tell about the he moves the certain players, right? He moved a lot of I think academy favorites who were favored by Lopetegui and Solari. And he came Zidane literally came back, moved a lot of these pieces that were used by Lopetegui and Solari straight away. So it seems he's making his stamp on the team. And there's only one point I want to make. It's don't you think Real Madrid always signs one Brazilian forward from Brazil? And this year it's Rodrigo. They always sign this random 18-year-old from Brazil.
Because they've got a good scouting network there, and they're a good history of success though. So fair enough.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
and they're gonna. No,
Uh,
I think Madrid will be strong next season. Like,
I think
I think potentially if their front line is in order, right? Which it will. I think it will be if they get that one more signing, right? Whether it be, I know it's not really front line, but whether it be that creative attacking player, whether it be Pogba, whether it be Eriksen, whether it be someone else, like I could see them being very close to Barcelona, if not better than Barcelona.
Dude, Barcelona haven't signed anyone. Apparently, they're going to try. They're going to break the bank.
They signed Frankie de Jong.
Yeah, they signed. Okay, one player. Okay, would you say they're way better than Real Madrid now?
I think Barcelona. What Barcelona need really are not attacking players, though.
Are defensive players.
They need defensive players.
They need the league.
Yeah. So if they pull off the De Ligt signing, I think that's a great signing for them. And yeah, but I think the Madrid team, Madrid is looking good, like in terms of like just player for player. They're looking good. Like they got a bit of depth as well. They're probably going to move some dead weight. Gareth Bale, James Rodriguez. They got a decent mix of experience and younger players, quote unquote younger.
Which is very different from the old Real Madrid squads.
Yeah, like their star player would be, probably be Hazard, the team looks like a decent, well-rounded team.
Yeah. No, I think so too. I think Barcelona apparently, according to the news, that they're focusing all the efforts on trying to get Antoine Griezmann. Apparently, they're trying to, shelf out hundreds.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident that that'll happen as well.
107 million. Fuck, man! Like,
he has a 120 million euro release clause, so they're just going to meet the clause.
Yeah.
I think the hold up now is just around like how it's being paid.
Yeah. They were saying like
I'm pretty sure it's going to happen just because the João Felix transfer has already been confirmed.
Yes.
So if my understanding is that
Neymar, right? They're not signing Neymar then.
That's what I don't know. Like honestly, the way that or rather the stories that are being talked about and the way that's being reported in the media,
it's one or the other.
I feel like it's set up to happen. Actually,
what,
I feel like it's set up to happen. Yeah, because it always happens this way, right? Always happens this way, right? There's rumors of this making me happy, and it's always denied, and then like something happens, and it's like, oh yeah, actually no, I wouldn't mind, and then like I can just see it the way it'll play out. Like,
so you think Barcelona will sign both Griezmann and Neymar?
I wouldn't be surprised.
I don't think it's possible within the financial fair play restrictions, right?
Well, I mean, did you think it was possible for PSG to sign both Mbappe and Neymar with the financial fair play regulations?
Did they sign them the same season? I think they signed them different.
They did.
Okay, fine. Oh yeah, and then they paid for a little settlement. Yeah. No, but what I'm trying to get at is like, okay, fine, we can talk about this topic another day. Okay, fine, maybe they will. I don't think it will happen. I think it's one or the other. And then
I think the way that you get around financial fair play, right, is that you structure the payments in certain ways, right?
Yeah.
So, Neymar was 222 mil?
Yeah.
Mbappe was at 150?
Yeah, 150.
Something like that. But they didn't pay everything up front.
All that in the same window.
Right? Yeah, you don't pay all in the same window, right? You stage it out because I think financial fair play is only like the way it balances is based on the previous year.
Mm-hmm.
It's only based on your net transfer in your previous 1 year or your previous 2 years. I can't remember exactly.
Yeah.
But so if you space out the payment, let's say over 3 or 4 years, right? Like
you can basically meet the net income
exactly.
Outgoing. Yeah. Okay. What about Juventus? This Juventus team looks like, I think they look pretty beastie, but I think they still need like that one more player, and it could be.
I think the question will be around the my assumption is that I'm going this based on the assumption that the De Ligt transfer would happen.
Yeah.
Management, like that's the extra like wrinkle in the story, right? Like the manager, because it's a bit of an unknown.
Yeah, Sarri might piss everyone off.
I mean, Sarri hasn't won anything in his managerial career, and all of a sudden he's at the biggest job in Italy, one of the biggest jobs in Europe. like it'll be interesting to see how that's the
He hasn't
other
won
wrinkle.
anything in Italy. But he's won like the UEFA Europa League or whatever.
Yeah, but you know,
Okay.
for him, maybe it was maybe for him he could consider it a very successful season because he broke his duck of not winning anything.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, like I think after we said all of this, I think we can do all that the UCL preview closer to the season. Again, I guess the last news piece is Antonio Conte signed up with Inter, and apparently, like I think there's still a lot of domino. Basically, what I want to say is there's still a lot of dominoes to be moved, right? One transfer now could make a big change. Like for example, today there was a news like Pogba can only leave to Real Madrid if Real Madrid moves Isco, Gareth Bale, and James Rodriguez. So actually, one
And
question:
then they'll use that money apparently to buy Maguire, which I think is such a waste of the money. But okay,
bro? Okay, then would you do this? Would you take Isco, James, and Gareth Bale for Pogba?
I'll take Isco and cash.
Oh, you need You wouldn't take Bale? I mean, like actually, we've had bad history.
Not at his age, and not at the wages which you expect him to. Yeah, you expect him to want.
I mean, yeah, we'll see what happens, man. A lot of shit is about to happen. So apparently, like something just popped out on my phone saying that Lukaku is definitely dead set to leave. Pogba looks dead set to leave. For me, like I don't mind if they leave, right? For me, the only thing is